for some reason. You know what? Okay. This time round, I'm going to speak English for some reason. I already said that, but the camera was not recording. I'm about to speak about time is a gentleman. I don't remember the exact English rendition of this idiom. In Italian, il tempo è gentiluomo. It means in the long run, theoretically, but everything is going to be right. The problem I'm speaking about is people who, for some reason, are not able to discuss with people without thinking the person they are discussing with, just because they disagree in a very heated impassioned way. They are stupid because they don't agree with them. I disagreed a lot about the idea, the concept of fishing line equals fluorocarbon strings. First of all, you have to, the simple fact that is possibly the same material doesn't mean anything. Wood can be used for guitars, and wood can be used to make fire. It's not the same wood. Yes, but it's wood. Fluorocarbon is a material. It was invented for some things, fishing line, and then they discovered it sounds good on guitars they usually use in the past guts, then nylon, and then also fluorocarbon. First of all, it's not, you have to demonstrate that this is exactly the same molecular structure. I don't know, I'm not an expert. It's exactly the same. You know, I think that there can be subtle difference and they make the difference. First of all, even if it's the same material, that doesn't mean anything. Carbon fiber can use for some things and some other completely different things, like musical instruments. So this simple comparison, oh, it's fishing line. We don't know how expensive fishing line is, and say, oh, it's much less expensive than ukulele strings. But yeah, it's par for the course. If you package something expressly for ukulele, you have the right gauges, exactly the right gauges, and you, on top of that, you use wound strings, which cannot be made out of fishing line. And if we'll use wound strings for lower notes, there must be a reason, and the reason is they sound better. At least most people prefer the power of wound strings. I have a tenor ukulele that uses all this living water fluorocarbon strings with no wound strings. Wound strings to be made, you need a specific technology and machinery to make wound strings. I think it's not the same as fluorocarbon. But the problem is, I said, even if it's has some convenience and some they cost less, in the long run it's not a viable option. I'll tell you why. First of all, people usually don't have so much money to invest. on strings, even if, well, you recoup the money in 10 years. I don't even know if I'm alive in 10 years. I mean, supposedly, but anyway. Second things, I may change my mind, and I don't want to be saddled with a lot of fishing line. While I discovered that they came up with a much better material, or material that I like better for ukulele strings. That makes sense. Moreover, as I said before, many people don't like prefer one strings. I say most of people. If they make a low G 99% of the time with a one strings, must be a reason. Okay, so I made my point, and Barry Maz said someone's got out of the woodwork, and I said not a polite way or replying to my points, and I didn't let go. When you have something in your mind and you think you think you're perfectly right, because all what I said makes perfect sense, I said, well, it's an option for luthiers, for ukulele builders. They have large scale needs, not for the common person, because it costs a lot and it obligates you to use them to recoup the money for many years. And in the long run, I mean, you can spend at most, I don't know, $20 a year on a single ukulele. Considering the fact that many people have not a lot of sopranos, a lot of concert, but have one soprano, a concert, a tenor, it would even be more difficult to recoup the money, because if you play different ukulele, you don't play just the same ukulele, and you need less changes. It's a question of division of time and division or wear and tear. So at the end of the day, I was blocked. I mean, I can see my comments from my channel, but if I'm on my other channel, I see nobody can see my comments. So it's even a stealthy way of blocking people. People don't even know they're blocked. I don't know whose fault it is, but it's like very bad for YouTube to do that. After some years, I never commented in a bad way reviews of ukuleles. That means one thing: what I do in good faith. I don't have a personal agenda against this person. I think he speaks his mind, and when he commented on he reviewed the Les Paul Epiphone, he spoke his mind. It's I think it's crap. I heard it in real life, and it is crap. But blocking people for defending their ideas is not good. I mean, I never said I for some reason, if you can call insult, I insult the ideas. I think the idea of using fishing line and bulk for ukulele strings is not a viable option for common players. And I think a lot of people could be misled to think that this is something to pinch pennies, a good idea. The whole idea, my idea is try out all possible ukulele strings, and I don't think it's, come on, a set of ukulele strings is less than $10 or €10, considering that except for the low G they use the last more because there's no oxidation. What's it right? I mean, except for one strings they don't get rusty. I don't think that it's a big problem when people spend a lot of money on new ukuleles, on stupid things. Second thing, I don't exactly know the terms. I'm not convinced that fishing line is exactly the same string, the same material, maybe the same factories that produce fishing line can produce ukulele string. That doesn't mean it's exactly the same I wouldn't find a better recipe, so to speak. So what about all this thing? Speaking about showing up, since he posted something on APC, and I didn't agree about many things he said about APC or APC. I posted a video where I said I don't agree for this and this, that reason. He said, oh, you still read music. What's the point? If I read music, I don't read music. I sometimes read music, sometimes I don't want to fluff my words and for some reason read. But that's not the point. The point is, remember this. If people who don't agree with you attack you for not the same reason they disagree with you, maybe they don't have a point against you. They cannot substantiate what they're saying. That's my point. I always said things in good faith, and trying to be rational. You're never rational and objective 100%, but I try to say things and speak things like I'm in front of a judge or a court. Okay, I try to be convincing, I try to be honest, and I try not to be personal. I never said, oh, he's getting out of the woodwork. No, I said, in this thing, concerning this thing, I think is giving this advice to people, it can cause some harm, and people need to be warned. It's not a viable option for most people. I said it can be a viable option for luthiers. They can cut corners without cutting, even if assuming he's right about they are just the same. I doubt it, but they can cut corners assuming that he's right without cutting, reducing the quality. Common people don't work on this scale. Okay? Repeat, they can change your mind, They don't have one strings, and most of the times they need to cut corners on strings. Oh, if I have several ukuleles, since the gauges, first of all, can you find exactly the same gauges? When you change the ukulele, you should buy other gauges. And how long should you play? How many hours should you play the ukulele in order to be economically viable for you? So, since he blocked me, I don't let him post on my channel. When he unblocked me, he can post on my channel. It's called reciprocity. Goodbye.